Hey guys, this is day 2 of our Honduras mission trip with World Help. And so today started off with us getting on the bus at 7:30 in the morning, and we went to one of the villages that World Help has helped build. So what they do is they raise money, or we have donors that donate enough money for them to build houses. And you can get pretty much like a 2 bedroom house, and you can squeeze 2 beds into both rooms for, I think they said, like 12,500. So there was a large group of them that had previously got displaced from the floods, because there's like areas here that really flood very badly. And so this was a plot of land that they were able to purchase from donors. And then they were able to also find contractors to build houses on that land. So we walked through, they called it the World Health Village, and we walked through there. Today, I want to say there was like, if I had to count, maybe like 14 or 16 homes total. And again, they're not very big, but you can tell, like, they're very sturdy, made out of cement. And like I said, most of them have just one long room that they use for a living room and a makeshift kitchen. And then they have the 2 rooms where, like I said, you can barely shove 2 beds into each room, but they can definitely do that. And yeah, so we spent about an hour or so, a little over an hour. First stop in the village was they called them the women entrepreneurs. So I really liked that because that's what I am. And so they were basically saying that the women, they wake up, they make food, and then they also get water and sell it. So they go out and sell this food and water every day. So every morning they prepare. So they let some of us, kind of step in and see what that was like. I just kind of stepped off and observed. But it's kind of cool. Like I said, they're like, this is what we do. We sell food and water, and I think that that's great because it kind of goes along with that principle of give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So they're pretty much self-sustained in that community that they are building. So after that, we played with the kids. I know I painted a lot of nails today. I brought some nail polish. It was like 5 different colors. And the little girls, we sat there and did that. Played with them. We had stickers. And then we also gave out these food baskets that were donated by a church. And what else? We had like lots of eggs we gave out. I got to hold a baby. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. It was just really cool because, this is their community, and they invite you into their home, and you get to kind of, go in and see everything that, people who have donated money and donors and all the people who put in to help build these homes. You just get to see how all that comes together. And I know that transparency in a nonprofit organization is something that people feel like they don't get. And, a lot of people are leery and they're like, I don't want to donate because who knows where the money goes. I can definitely tell you, this is my second trip with them, and the money goes exactly where they say it's going to go each and every single time. So, um, yeah, so it was really cool just going in that village. And there was another one. So we went to another village that they're building as well. I think that one had like 5 homes so far. And sorry, y'all, this humidity, my hair is extra. But we went to another community. It had 5 homes in it, and got to go in those homes as well. There was one of them had like this pet rabbit, and it was like trying to chew through my shoe. It was kind of funny, but talked to her. And then the one that I remember the most was, it was a lady that said that her son, who was tied to the World Help Children's Center, because there's a children's center that we go to help out as well, and the sponsored kids, that's where they go. And so he used to be a part of that program, and a couple years after, he was just too old to be in the program. I think once they're like 16 or something like that, then they're not part of the children's center anymore. But he was murdered by the local gang, and that was her only child. And so she was just telling us her story. She was, of course, torn up. What mother would ever want to go through that? And he was just killed back in February of this year. So she was just sharing her story, and she did say that he had accepted Christ into his heart just 4 days before he was murdered. So that gave her some peace. And then one of the people that was with us, he prayed for her. There's another lady, she prayed for her, and then they talked to her about salvation. And we were probably in that house for at least 10 or 15 minutes. And they sat there and just talked to her about salvation. They asked her, her son did it. How did she feel about being saved herself? And she said, I'm working on it. And so they talked to her a little bit more, and then she got to a point at the end of their conversation where she wanted to accept God and, Jesus Christ as her personal savior. And so we sat there and prayed for her, and she did. And so it was a really awesome moment. And like I said, you could tell she's just really hurt by her son and everything that happened. But knowing that, he did the same before he passed, and then knowing that she just did it, you could just tell that she had a peace about her when we left. So it was pretty amazing. And that was the second village. And so then after that, we went to, sorry, y'all, it's been a long day because I feel like we went to a third. Yes, we did. It was a bigger house. That caught my attention because usually the other houses were like kind of smaller. And so we were like, oh, this one's huge. Like, what's up with that? And they're like, well, 14 or 18 people live in that house. I was like, oh. So that's why it was maybe like 2.5 times bigger than the other houses that were smaller that cost $12,500. I did ask him how much that cost because, for fundraising purposes, I'd like to know because you can put a lot of people in that house. So we got to go in there and see. It was 4 rooms and you could fit 3 beds in each room. So a lot more people definitely lived in there, and you could tell there was a lot more rooms, a little bit wider. So as you can see, it doesn't cost a whole lot to build houses here, but it means the world to them because otherwise they really don't, have somewhere safe to live that's not going to flood or anything like that. And so that was great to see too. We got back on the bus, and then we went back to the place to go pack our meds, or to finish day 2 of meds. Like I said, a lot. You guys really showed out this year. You donated a lot of meds, and we thank you. And we finally got through everything like around 5:30. We got our triage suitcase together. So just to help you kind of understand like the breakdown, usually, like there's a medical team and then there's people who aren't medical, which is cool because we still need people to help with, breaking things down, setting things up, playing with the kids, other stuff like that, praying for people. And so last year, I want to say we had 6 nurses, if I remember correctly. I want to say it was 6. And so I'm thinking this year we're going to have the same, number or somewhere close to that. Today was the first day I realized that we have 3 nurses only, including myself. 3. So like, okay. Last year we saw 510 patients, and triage nurse, that they come to us first, so that we're the first people they see, and then of course we triage as necessary. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. So half the number of nurses. And what do we have more than, the amount of patients we had last year? So I just looked at the other 2 nurses and I just said, hey, we're just going to have to lug this out. But today was the first day I actually realized it was just 3 of us. We have 2 pharmacists and 3, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 providers. So 5 either doctors and 1 is a nurse practitioner. 5 providers. So 3 nurses, 5 providers, 2 pharmacists. The rest of the people are here to just help however they can help us. So yeah, usually we're not outnumbered by the providers, but this time we are. So again, that was kind of like I had to process that. Like, oh gosh. By day 3 of clinic, we are going to be tied. Like, not tired with the R. Take the R out, okay? But I'm looking forward to it. Super excited for that. But that was one of the things that was just a shock for me. Also, while we were there, I got to meet with my 2 sponsored kids. So last year I sponsored 2 kids down here. And of course that involves, like sending money every month for their just basic needs. I brought them some gifts. We did some personalized backpacks. I thought they were too cute and they liked them too. put some gifts inside the backpack, and I just got to visit with them and give them a hug. I'm pretty sure just like it's this crazy lady from the U.S. that really likes us, but I just I do. They're really special. So I got some other things in store for them as they get older. But yeah, it was just really awesome to see them. Took a picture with them. And that was today. We went and had dinner, talked about the game plan for the clinic. Tomorrow, the clinic's going to be in a location we have not ever been in before. It's like, okay, cool. And then the other two locations we have been there before, so we kind of know the layout and how we need to set it up. But just to give you a breakdown, and I'll go over day 3, how that happened or, what that looked like. But we get to the place, we scope it out, how we're going to set up our clinic. We get all the tables, meds, everything out. And then the first station is a triage nurse station. Second is your provider station. And then third is pharmacist. So that's the flow of the clinic. And it's pretty cool because you walk into a space, it's like, how are we going to turn this into a clinic? In an hour, boom, clinic, run everybody through. We see everybody until there's no one left to see. And then we leave. And so, like I said, last year in 3 days, in 3 different clinics setups, we saw over 510 patients. So we will see how that pans out this time. But that was day 2. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.